Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So we're working on Saturday Night Special episode 85, and I think I got a lot of content for you this week. We got lots of machining to share with you, and we've got some viewer appreciation mail, and we've got some new tool scores. So we'll just start right off with the new scores for this week. Right here, I just picked this up just about 2 hours ago, and also a nice big face mill. There was an auction here in town that happened on Tuesday, and it was an online auction for another shop here locally that actually closed. Owner retired, and he decided to auction everything. So I had a little time there. I put in a few bids for a few different things, and I got bought out of some other stuff. But I did manage to get this granite surface plate and that 6-inch face mill right there. So I was really excited about getting this stuff, and I think I got a good deal for him. So in the pictures, I had no idea what brand it was, whether it was just some cheapo or if it was a name brand, if it was used, abused, if it was good or what. I knew that it had some wear because on the side in the picture over here, there's actually a chip place where it looks like something hit it or somebody smashed it with a hammer or something like that. But I think it's going to serve its purpose in my shop. I really don't even need a granite surface plate. I've never really had much use for one, but I've always wanted one, especially after spending a lot of time watching guys like Tom Lipton use a granite surface plate and show different ways of using it for inspection and laying out and that kind of stuff. I've always had this little cast iron one sitting right here that's covered up, and every now and then I use it, but not too much. So I'm happy with it. It came with the stand. It's on casters, so it rolls around. Okay, and I thought it was just going to be a 4-inch from the picture, and I lucked out. It's actually a 6-inch with 4 ledges. It goes all the way around, so I got a little bit more granite there than what I thought I was paying for. So I ended up getting this for $100. I thought that was a pretty good deal, so I think this is worth the gamble for $100. I don't even think you can build a stand for that, you know. But anyway, so I'm happy with that. I don't know where it's going yet, but it'll be around the shop somewhere, and maybe we'll put it to use. So here's the other one right here that I got, and this is a 6-inch face mill, okay? I don't know the brand. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I didn't even see that earlier. It's a Valinite. I was just looking at that. It said made in Germany, so it's a Valinite, and it's got all the inserts on it are good, except for one. We got one that's busted there and a broken screw, but I put a bid on there. I think I put a max bid on this thing of like $25, and I won this and got it for $15. So this is going to be something that we can use on the Kearney and Trecker mill over here, but I am going to have to find a new holder for it, a 50 taper shell mill holder with a 2-inch shank. That's what this is 2-inch. And well, there's the other insert laying in there. I guess the screw was broke. I didn't know it. Them guys down there might have been rough handling it. Anyway, okay, so never mind. There's the other insert for it right there. I just got to replace the screw. So I got something else to talk about. Bring this up here in a minute, okay? So I got some viewer appreciation mail we're going to take a look at. One I've had for a few weeks now, so we need to get that and share that. So we'll get some viewer mail. I've got all kind of video footage. I haven't decided what's going to be in this episode, so there might be a few different things, a good mix. You guys seem to like the mixture of things. Last weekend, we had our success with the Kearney and Trecker, and I showed you making one cut on it with a 7/8 cutter. Well, I decided to make another cut, I believe it was Sunday, and we used a 1 3/4 wide cutter. And I put a couple pictures on Facebook, and the guys were enjoying it. And I got a little bit of video, so we're going to throw that in there. You can see that. And we got some more work on the roller down there that I did. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We're just going to go ahead and start throwing some video together, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get right to it, okay? So our first one we're going to start with comes from Randy Richard. And I wanted to pull this out first because what I thought was really funny about this viewer mill is the inserts that he sent me. He sent me a bag full of carbide inserts. So I just happened to luck out, and the face mill that I bought takes the same exact insert as the ones that Randy Richards just sent me a bag full of. I mean, how lucky can you get there? But the reason Randy had sent me these is because I bought it was either 2 or 3 end mills from Ben Zentner back at the Bar Z Bash, and I actually don't have them here yet. That was some of that stuff I gave to Ryan, and I'm going to see Ryan later in the month. He's going to drop them off. But they take this style of insert. So I don't know how the conversation came up, but somebody said, hey, Randy's got a bunch of those things. So I was poking at him and saying, hey, man, why don't you send me some of them inserts? So he did. So Randy, thank you very much. And I wouldn't mind finding out just how many of these things you got. I might like to buy some from you or trade something or whatever. So appreciate it, man. Thanks very much. Those will go great with this big shell mill right here. Face mill, I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to move on. This is some viewer mill that I've had a few weeks. I've been wanting to get to. This comes from Martin Miller, and he's from Poland. This package actually came from Poland. That was pretty cool right there. And Martin wrote me a very interesting letter. Very cool. Thank you very much, Martin. I really enjoyed reading this. I want to give you a couple highlights out of the letter that he mentions. So he said that in this package you got a few metric micrometers. Yes, metric, and better and only correct system. So he likes the metric system. They're used but in good condition. I bought a couple of them from Poland Military Surplus. I do not know if you have any tools made in Poland, so I send you some. In my opinion, they're a great quality. Made in times when things were made to last, and they were made by engineers, not accountants. It's not cheap, made from zinc alloy and clay, piece of junk, Chinese made. It's good tools, and I hope you will be able to use it from time to time. Best regards, Martin. And his PS is, sorry for my bad, rusty, and not so good English. I think you did just fine, Martin. So he sent a few tools right here, and I don't recall having anything from Poland or not. I really can't remember at this point. But he's got a few mics in here, and they're actually very, very pretty tools. So this is a mic from 25 to 50 millimeter, and it's got this fine range right here. And offhand, I'd have a tough time explaining the resolution on that, but it works off of spring pressure right here. So this anvil moves. Okay, so you get your. I would assume that you're getting the proper amount of torque when you do your measuring there. But I've never used a mic like that. I've never actually used one, so maybe we can put it to use. We'll see. 25 to 50 mil, okay? So, all right, we got our next one right here. This is another really pretty one right here. Okay, so this is from 75 to 100 millimeter. And it's got the disc on here. Very good quality. You can see there, made in Poland. It's got the satin chrome finish on it. Very nice, smooth feel. Okay. All right, we got one more. Okay, so this one is 125 to 150 millimeter, and it also has the feel of a good quality tool. Also there, made in Poland. All right, Martin, these are the first metric micrometers I've ever owned, so I really appreciate it. And I'm going to put them in the Lista, and maybe one day I'll get them out and I'll start learning how to read micrometers and metric. I'm not used to it. I'm used to inch. That's the way that I was taught. So inch makes sense to me. Metric, I have to convert everything to inch numbers, you know, to a decimal point. So they're really beautiful mics though, so I really appreciate it. And thank you for thinking of me, and thanks for the letter. And I hope that you continue to enjoy the channel, okay? Okay, we've got another really nice group of gifts right here that were sent in. And these were given to me by Jim Bollinger. And he's over at Do Right Fabrication on YouTube. That is his channel there, Do Right Fabrication. I'm gonna throw an info card up here for you to click on. Please go to Jim's channel and check him out. He's very new at it. He just started, but he actually makes some really good quality videos, very cool editing, and he does different fabrication jobs and stuff like that. So he don't have a whole lot of videos out yet, but he's working on them. He told me that he's got a lot of video content. He's just got to make time to make the videos and get them out there. But Jim's a really cool guy. He was at the Barsley Summer Bash, and he's the one who actually gave me this pair of Lincoln gloves. And he sent me another pair because I told him what I wanted to do was give a pair to my brother. So that pair, the first pair that I got, I give to my brother because he's using them down at his job. He does flux core welding. So Jim said that he wanted to send me another pair for me to use, so that's what he did. But what I didn't know was that he sent some extras here with it. He told me that there was going to be a surprise for me in the end. So he gave me a Viking 33, it's a Viking 3350 series auto darkening helmet by Lincoln Electric. And that's a really nice welding hood right there, man. I've already tested it out, and it's great. It works good. I really like the headgear in it. I like how this will move, and you can kind of adjust it to fit your head. A really comfortable pad there, a nice adjuster, and then you got all your functions inside there. So what this helmet was, he told me that this is a demo helmet that he's given to me. Jim actually, he doesn't work for Lincoln, but he says that he works with Lincoln, and he helps train people for welding. He travels around and speaks and works on Lincoln's behalf and helps guys, teaches them how to weld. And Lincoln gives Jim products like this to take out and demo and show guys and let guys try them out. And he actually gives this stuff away to some of those guys. So he wanted me to have some of it. So thank you very much, Jim. Very nice of you, and I like your videos. You got some good stuff going on over there. Also, he included a bag for the Lincoln helmet there. So we got a brand new bag, and it also came with this Chip Foos bandana do-rag. I actually think it looks pretty cool. We might just hang this up in the shop. I don't know if I'll actually use this or not, but it's one of the Chip Foos style bandanas. Look, he even signed it for me. That's pretty cool. So we got that, and then we got a Lincoln Electric do-rag here also. So he said that he'd like to see me start using the hood or the do-rag here, so we'll have to start putting that on when we do our welding. So the helmet came with the manual and the warranty, and some extra, you know, the shields. Those need to get replaced every now and then. So very cool what you're doing there, Jim. I really appreciate the gifts, and thank you also to Lincoln Electric. Really nice stuff right there. I look forward to using it. We're going to put it over there, and whenever we get some welding jobs in here, we'll show it on camera, okay? So make sure you go check out Jim's channel, all right? He would appreciate it. Give him a couple thumbs ups and some subscriptions, and to see what he's got going on over there, all right? I thought I'd try a bigger cutter. I found that one in the box. That was 1 3/4 wide. And even though we've kind of roughed out some of the middle there from that last cut, we're still going beyond that depth. 1/2 inch deep 1.75 wide. So far the machine seems to be handling it pretty good. I slowed everything down. That's 54 RPM. Well, there's you a shot of the finished cut. That cutter is pretty rough, actually. It's got some burnt edges on it on the side, so the side of this cut isn't pretty, but it does good for removing some metal. And I think it would do a lot better if it had flood coolant on it versus just the mist. That's a lot of metal removal at one time there, so I don't think it's getting adequate lubrication during the cut. But we're just playing around, right? We're seeing what it can do. So I was pretty happy with that. That was a pretty big cut, and I wasn't getting any chatter or you know, rigidness problems out of the machine. Everything did good. Okay, well, I'm back on the roller. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get it bored out to size. We already showed you the drill in the hole, and now we're going to bore it. So I'm using this 1.5 inch boring bar. It takes the trigon inserts. Okay, and we're using the Sandvik inserts right there. And we're not going to hog too heavily, but we're going to remove a moderate amount every pass, 200 thousandths. So it'll come out pretty quick. We're going to bore this to 4 3/8. That's going to be the small diameter on the back side, and then I'm going to counter bore it to fit the bearing, okay, or the bearing race, should I say. So I'll give you some shots of the boring action, okay? The boring action. I've got most of it roughed out. We've got about 80 thousandths to bring it to our 4 3/8. Plus we're gonna have a little bit to bore out for our bearing race to press in. So what I wanna do now that it's drilled and roughed, you know, and possibly moved just a little bit on me, I wanna go ahead and reface this because I wanna make sure that it's square with the bore, but also because when I face this the first time, it's basically like a rough face. All right, it looks good, but I use a 431 insert. I like using a 431 because it makes a tighter chip. It's easier to break a chip off. 432s typically, depending on your feed rate, a lot of times it tries to string a chip off there. So what I've done is I've swapped my insert out for a 432, so it'll help leave a smoother finish across the face. And I'm going to slow the feed rate down, and we're just going to make a clean up face cut. Yeah, that's looking better. That'll make a smoother finish there too. Again, that's one of those Sandvik inserts. I believe it's the 8315 or 8215. And I'll most likely leave that insert in there to finish the OD also. We don't have a lot to take off the OD. We always try to make our parts look as pretty as we can and on size. The customers really appreciate that kind of stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, that's really nice and smooth. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and finish our boring. I'm getting down to my final pass for this 4 3/8 dimension here, and I've got a tolerance of it plus or minus 5 thousandths. It's nothing critical. What it allows is a shoulder for the bearing race to press against, okay, and then the clearance on the back for the bearing, the other bearing to come in. So I just made a roughing pass, and we're going to go ahead and mic it and take a finish cut. Alright, 320. So 55 thousandths. I'll pull these out. These telescope gauges, this set that this one goes in was my dad's, and he always used these right here. I don't know what brand they were, but I know on the package it says made in USA. I like them sometimes because they're longer than my Starretts. You see the handle length there. I think the Starrett has a better feel. This is a good telescope gauge to use also. You can reach in there a little bit further. I can't use my coolant because it slings it everywhere. I don't have a chuck guard. Right back here in the back, I'm going to put a little bit of oil. Help that finish cut. I'm going to back off so I don't drag the tool on the finish. Okay, 373, so we're well within the tolerance there. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just double checking it, make sure we're growing size. Okay, 373. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and just turn my coolant on. So that may shrink a thousandth or so. It's still pretty warm from all that work I've been doing on it. I'm gonna go ahead and run it in low gear, 17 RPM. I'm gonna let the coolant cool it down, and then we'll finish. We'll do our finish bore after it's cool to the touch. So I'm getting ready to set my shoulder length for the bore for the bearing race. And we're going to use our 4-inch travel Starrett dial indicator. This is one that I got from Tom Lipton over at Ox Tool. We did a little bit of trading. This is one that he had found at the flea market, surprisingly, and I traded him a nice steer level for it. So I'm going to use it. We've already got it zeroed, got the tool touched off, and I got it set. What we'll do is we'll set my depth, and once I'm there, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to use the smaller one to set a 0 there. Okay, so we're going 2.5. Let's see if I can do this on the rapid. All right, so that's 2 inches. $4.95. Always give myself 5 thousandths to face the back side right there. All right, that's good. And we've got a tolerance on that too. We've got 5 thousandths tolerance on that. I feel confident we're there. So we're going to go ahead and remove this. I'll put the shars back up here. Make sure it's working good. So I'm getting pretty close to our final bore. This is basically the last roughing pass I'm going to make. I'm going to probably make 2 or 3 really light finishing passes. We'll speed the lathe up. I went ahead and slowed it down to 5,000 speed rate, and that should leave me with about 20 thousandths to come out, I believe. I resorted back to my lower spar and a high-speed tool. That insert was just giving me problems, and it's trying to dig in too much on the backstroke there. So I'm just taking very light cuts with my high speed to bring it to size. That's usually how I have to end up finishing these over here. So last I mic'd it, I still had about 10 thousandths to come out of there. So I'm just cleaning the bore up, and I'll just sneak up on it with a couple passes there. All right, I just finished the final pass in here using the high-speed tool. It's still a nice smooth finish in there. I honed my tool bit before I did this. So let's see where I finished it at. Finish size would be 724 to 724 and a half. Freaking perfect, man. 724. That's awesome. I was starting to get a little bit nervous here. I was trying to get it finished up with that carbide, and it just doesn't want to react very good. 724. That's perfect. I'll go in there and just slick it a little bit with some Scotch-Brite, and then that'll be a finished bore ready for the bearing race, I mean. All right, so while I'm here, I'll show you another thing I like to do with this. Okay, so you know this Aloris bar right here with that type of tool. You can take that out. All right, and I got the other one. Actually, this one isn't ground, but you can use that. You can just stick it in the other way. All right, you can use that for a chamfering tool right there. Just reach in there and hit these two corners. Same thing with that in there. All right. We're going to go ahead and get the OD of this thing finished up. We don't have a whole lot to come off, maybe about 100 thousandths. So So I've got a zero stop, and what this will allow, where I've got it, is a full cleanup of the OD. Once I flip it around and face the back and chamfer it, whatever might be left right there, it'll clean up, but I believe I'm just going to be right there at it. So just to show you, we're all clear. It's good to double check this before you engage your spindle. I got my indicator set here. I'm going to touch it. We're going to take 50 thousandths right here. That's that same insert I used on that last facing cut, that Sandvik. It's a CNMG 432. I think it's a 8215 insert. That looks nice right there. That's a 10 thousandths feed rate. I think that'll be okay for our finish. So let's see where we're at now. We may just go ahead and make one cut and be done with this. Yeah, we only got 23 thousandths. To come off. And I've said this before, on this particular job, this 8-inch OD is a nominal size. There's no real tight tolerance on that. You know, this gets worn down as soon as it's put in use. So actually right there where it's at will probably be perfectly fine also, but let's just go ahead and bring it down to size, okay? I've had a lot of guys ask me about my finishes, you know, because of the pictures that I post. This is that same material that I cut at work all the time, 1045, and they always ask me, what's the secret there? I tell everybody, you got to have a good insert, a good quality insert, and run it as fast as you can. You know, get your surface speed up there. It likes it. It'll put a better finish on it. But a good insert is important also. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and set this roller back in here and face it. So I got the face of the chuck wiped off really good, clean, and we got the jaws open up just a little bit more. And we're going to use our copper, what I call copper soft jaws. They're little pads. I've already got one on the bottom there. I want to try to protect this finish the best I can. And I'm using a glove on this side just because of that right there. I didn't reach through there and deburr that back side. I'm gonna go ahead and stick the top pad on. Alright, so that's got it. That's holding it, okay? So what we'll do, I'm go ahead and take this glove off now. I'm gonna open up this one. I'm gonna stick this one in here just to where it touches. Okay, and then I'm gonna reach across here and slide this one in because there's a little gap over here. Come on. Well, oh yeah, I had it the wrong way. It's got a little bit of a bend to it. Okay, right there. And we'll push it over into that one. All right, so we got all 4 of them. This one slid back a little, so what we'll do, since we got the other 2 snug, back that one off, move it back out, okay? All right, so what I'll do is take my little lead knocker here, just lightly bumping it, making sure that it's up against the jaws, the chuck here. All right, so you can see we got some run out. Let me get my indicator and we'll true it up. Come in a little bit more. So well over 1/8 of an inch. That's okay. Let's get her done. When using the pads, you got to be careful not to loosen them too much where they fall out of there. You got to keep just a little resistance on it. Okay, 2/1000. Before I get it in closer, I'm going to go ahead and bump it one more time. I feel like that's good. And you see it moved a little bit. All right, we're getting 1/2 thousandths right there. And make sure that they're all tight. Good to go. All right, so almost done. You just got to do a little facing. Basically, what you see right there, that's all going to be faced off, and cut 2 chamfers, and that'll be all of the lathe work. Okay, it's easy to get a measurement on a length using your calipers from this face to the chuck, and I showed this before, I think on this job maybe. I had several guys, I remember leaving comments asking how did you do that? Okay, see, just like that. So about 3.463, so I basically got 400 thousandths to face off that. I want to finish this 3 1/16. All right, you see the end of your jaws of your calipers here? They should be ground flush. So you're measuring from here to here. So there's your length. All right, so take the bottom jaw, the bottom right here, and hook it on your shoulder, and then pull this back with your fingers and square it up just like that. So now you can pull that back if you want and bring it in till it touches. There's your length, okay? See what 100 looks like. Slinging them chips up in the camera, I don't really like that right there. Okay, 3" 60. Within tolerance, I have a 5/1000 tolerance on that, plus or minus, so we're good to go. 3" 60. So what I'll do, finish this off real quick. Bring that tool around, and we're going to chamfer this side here lightly. We'll do the same thing in here. So it's finished up, other than I'm gonna file this edge right here and, you know, soften up that side there. Lathe work's done. Time for the milling machine work.